him, man?
We got him, buddy.
PrimeTime Bucks 6 begins in early September in eastern Wyoming. Greg Miller and Pat Reeve are guests of Trophies Plus Outfitters. This is the first hunt of the season for both of them, and of course, they're pumped. They've hunted here before and know the potential of the whitetail in the area. They also know that this is a good spot for early season hunting because the deer are very patternable at this time of year. But this part of the country also has a deep and spiritual history as a Native American hunting ground, which is evident on the walls of a nearby cave. A guardian stands at the entrance of what is believed to be the burial site of an Indian medicine man. Images carved in the stone walls tell a fascinating story of the abundant game that flourished and was hunted here. Before the hunt, Pat and Greg meet with outfitter Mike Watkins to scout for deer sign and to form a game plan. The weather is hot, actually very hot, and they know that one key element, water, will be a good starting point for this hunt. On the fourth morning, the wind is finally right for Pat to hunt the main water hole.
Unbelievable. That's all I got to say. This is the most incredible morning I've ever had in a tree stand. I have never got to witness deer action like today. We got bucks on the field, get them in the water hole. This is what it's about. Yeah, we got some does that are coming in front of us. Buck right now. Yeah. Yani. Yes. We got ourselves a Wyoming whitetail. Bingo. Man, this morning, it was incredible. We had bucks all over us. And it's about 8 o'clock. Looked out in the field and this one's coming in. And gave me a perfect shot. I couldn't pass it up. Oh, nice 10-pointer. Yes! Whew, what a way to start the season. Man, I can't wait to see him. All right. Here's some bud. One. He's right here. he is done. Yes! Oh, unbelievable. 10 points. 1, 2. He's really sharp, too. He just lost his velvet. He's still red. Awesome. Boy, he's got a beautiful cape, too. Fine hair. He's going to make an awesome mount. I owe Mike Watkins from Trophy Plus Outfitters a big thanks because he had us on deer all week. We had some awesome encounters with velvet deer. This morning it was an incredible morning. All kinds of action at the pond, and it all came together. And what a way to start the season here in early September. Yes!
By mid-afternoon, Pat is ready to jump behind the camera and give Greg Miller a chance to hunt. The last time Greg hunted at Trophies Plus Outfitters, he had a close encounter with 3 nice bucks that simply refused to stop for him.
Pat.
Eventually, high winds literally forced him from his stand.
I'm gonna have to get down. I can't hunt like this. I can't shoot.
Now on September 4th, Greg has favorable winds, but has a different weather condition to deal with.
We're in northeast Wyoming, hunting with Trophies Plus Outfitters. Mike Watkins and his gang. It's been a great hunt. We're seeing a lot of deer. The heat today, heat index is like, the temperature is 100 degrees, 101. They were calling for it to get to 105, but the humidity is only 19%, so we're getting safe there. We're on the edge of an alfalfa field in an oak tree with a lot of cover. There's one part of this alfalfa field that's real lush right out in front of us. My cameraman, Pat Reeve, has been watching this part of this field, and he's seen the deer keying on this particular spot, so we hope we're in the right spot. I think Pat's got us dialed in. I can't go on much longer because I know the deer are bedded right behind us. Plus, the deer just walked out on the far corner of the field over there. It's a doe. Got a couple hours till dark, so just gonna sit tight, hope for the best as usual.
As the afternoon heat builds, does slowly begin to move toward a water hole that is 75 yards behind Greg's stand.
And you know, it always happens that the flies are crawling in your ears, on your face when you've got a deer, a doe, 10 yards away. a lifetime for me. Velvet deer. I hope so. It looked a little low, but I got confidence in that Thunderhead 125. Wow. I mean, when it happens here, it happens fast. Pat says there's a shooter across the field. Next thing I know, I'm just putting my binoculars down. Pat says, Greg, he's coming on the run. Seems to me we had that same scenario last year, didn't we? Here he comes on the run. As my good buddy Stan Potts would say, just give me a second. Oh, yeah. It's bloody all the way. Good blood, Pat. That's a good sign. We got to pass through. Now, the fun part. There he is, Greg. He's down there. I see him. He's down there. You see him? Yeah, he's in the ditch. You got him, buddy. All right. You got him. Oh. Yes. He didn't make it out of the ditch. He ran. How far did he run, Pat? Not very far, but you got a beauty. Oh, there he is. Oh, man. Oh, perfect hit. Look at that. Oh. Now this is what you call an early season whitetail. And he does have 6 points on his one side, Pat. You know, I want you to see all of this, ladies and gentlemen, because I want to tell you, after 30-some years, this is the dream come true for Greg Miller right here. You know, there's a time when you just got to be quiet. Appreciate stuff like this. I'll tell you, that guy sitting behind the camera, I already thanked him a couple times, but I'm telling you, if it wouldn't have been for that cameraman behind that camera, Pat Reeve from Minnesota, this would have never happened. Because I had put my stand in a different spot to sit this evening. And Pat, and I'm happy to death for him, tagged out this morning. We did a double on September 3rd here in northeast Wyoming. Huh? Yeah, it's the 4th, excuse me. Like I said, I get a little emotional. And you know, I tell people all the time that there's always firsts in this sport. There's something you see a deer do the first time. There's an experience you have while hunting deer for the first time. And now after 37 years of involvement in this sport, I finally get to shoot a full velvet whitetail, not just any whitetail. He's a darn good whitetail. So for those of you who think there are no more firsts left in your deer hunting career, think again. You might want to check out Trophy Plus Outfitters out here in northeast Wyoming. I'll tell you, Mike Watkins has got a great camp. We've been seeing tons of whitetails.
It's the beginning of November and the rut is kicking off in Iowa. Pro staffer Rick White has convinced videographer Jeff Erger to leave the office early to hunt an afternoon stand just outside the city limits. Much like Wyoming, it's hot and it's dry, so Rick has placed his stand near a small pond that has good deer sign. 2 days earlier, he saw several deer at the pond, confirming that his stand is in the right spot. On this afternoon, Rick is in his stand only half an hour before the action begins.
There's a deer, Jim. There's a deer. That's a shooter for sure. You see how he's coming down? He's coming right up behind that doe. That doe's kind of going off to my right a little bit. God, that's a nice buck. He's going down the water. He's going to drink out of the water. He's going right down the pond. And that nose moving off. Up to my right. There he comes. There he comes. I think he's gonna go down. He's gonna go down. Come on. Come on, go down. He's staggering. He's gonna go down.
That was an excellent shot.
I don't even know what to say. Oh my God. We've been in this stand not even 20 minutes. And we've been watching them the last few days. It's been really warm here. It's November 6th today, I think. And we've been watching them come down to the water and drinking, so we knew if we just hung out here, it's hot today, we knew they'd come down. It looked like a good shot. But I'm gonna give it just a little bit. We got good light left. Yes. Oh my God. That one's for you, Dad. Look at this, baby. Look at that. Oh my God. Yes. Oh my gosh. That is a dandy. That is a dandy. Oh, he's got a lot of bark here that he's been rubbing all over his forehead here. He's just a huge body deer. The neck on him is just huge. That doe came in, and it wasn't a couple minutes later, this one came in following her. Got a drink, and then he went off to follow her some more, and she actually had moved right up across in front of us and brought him right into a perfect shooting position. I tell you what, I am ecstatic with this deer. This one's for you, Dad. It's for my dad. What a hunt. What a hunt. I truly love this sport.
It's still early November, and HS Pro staffer Eddie Salter has ventured to Rawhide Camps in Highland, Kansas. Rawhide Camps has access to over 7,600 acres of prime big buck habitat. Owner-outfitter John Wetstein manages the deer herd strictly for trophy whitetails, and over the years, the HS Pro staff has come face-to-face with some beautiful Rawhide Camp bucks. This fall, Eddie hopes to meet up with one for himself.
Well, John, how does this lay in here? All right, Eddie, from the barns up there, we got that south end, that big timber. And it comes down here, and this is the only finger of woods on the far west end that comes back down to our crop fields. We got alfalfa over here to the west, or to the east, and then we got corn over here to the west. And it's got 3 little fingers that come off of it. On this side of it, we got a house that pretty much shuts them off, so they're all coming right through here.
Yeah.
Right down in the middle of it here, you can get in there and should be able to get them early enough in the evening or the morning.
Ought to be a good staging area right in there,
yeah.
too.
Morning or evening, it should be good because I think we'll be far enough back for either one.
Well, it looks like it's already a good clue right there. There's a rub right there,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I always like to see that.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, I'm kind of anxious to get in there and check it out.
Early the next morning, Eddie gets a glimpse of the quality of bucks Rawhide Camps has to offer. Eddie would have loved to get a chance at this bruiser, but as bow hunting sometimes goes, they don't always get close enough for a shot. This nice 10-pointer stayed just out of Eddie's bow range.
Deer hunt's not for somebody who's got a bad heart. It'll make it flutter when I get in like that.
The following day, Eddie spots a nice buck heading his way, but he disappears into the thick brush.
I saw a deer come over the hill earlier. We got a bunch of grapes laid up in here. Got a bunch of rub. I got a retractor drag hooked up down there. Got a scent wig up here with some premium doe esters. Maybe we can bring him on in here. I see a deer coming down through here. I don't know what it is, but it's a deer coming. It's a buck. It's a buck. Good deer. He's coming to my right. He's a shooter. He's coming up to the crate. Tell me when. Okay, get it down. Thank you, good Lord. I love it, man. I don't want to do a bunch of real hopping. I want to get out there and flip side here because we've had some ace tough weather. It's been so hot. I love it. Right.
I'll give that deer a pretty good while now, but I'm gonna go retrieve my arrow and see what I can find after that.
I like a good pass too. That looks good right there. About a 22, 23. All right, now we're gonna just ease up through here. There's some good sign there. It's picking up. Hurry up! Oh! All right. Oh, look at them horns and that body. Look at that deer. Ooh. All right. G2, G3.
Ooh, man. Thank you, John Wetstein. Tell you what, these Kansas deer, unbelievable. We have actually had a tough week. It's been so hot and everything, and we had a super big deer on us earlier, but hey, this one right here, he can ride home with Eddie Salter any day of the week. Ah, dog, that is a good deer. Ooh, woo.
Greg Miller is back in his home state hunting at Buffalo County Outfitters in Mondovi, Wisconsin. Outfitter Ted Marham and cameraman Pat Reed have placed stands along an old logging road, which is a known deer travel route between food source and the bedding areas. Greg has waited until the wind is in the south to hunt this particular stand. Not long after Greg is in place, the deer are on the move.
Can hear a buck scraping over here. I can hear a buck over here, I think, scraping. There he is, right there. Patty looks like a shooter. Can't tell for sure. Looks like an 8-pointer. His G2 is long, that's all I can tell. It's fairly wide. Here he comes, Pat, here he comes. He's coming down into the bottom there. A little short on his G3s. He's a good looking deer, but I'm gonna let him pass though. If he comes up here, if he gives me a shot, I'm just gonna let him pass. He's an 8-pointer. He's a good deer. I really think he needs to live another year, at least. It's just starting to get good. It's the 19th of October. The bucks are really just starting to move, so I think I can do better than that. Got my heart going anyway. Just had a 1.5-year-old buck come down off the top of the ridge, I imagine, where he was bedded up there. Walk right by us here. I just ranged the spot. He walked by us 24 yards. Went over and hit a couple scrapes. Hope a bigger one does the same exact thing.
With the calm conditions, Greg tries a short rattling sequence. It doesn't take long for a larger buck to appear on the hillside.
I've had to wait quite a while for some bucks, but that was nerve-wracking, man.
Nice shot, buddy.
Thank you. You know, sometimes things are just meant to be. Wow. So it's all over here. He's right up here. Because where we heard him fall is, he's got to be right over this little rise here. Actually, right there, you see a white belly. Right there, man. Yes. Okay. Look at the size of this deer, Patrick. Look at the body size on that thing. Good Lord Almighty, look at that. Holy cow. Look at the size of that body on that thing. Oh. Well, we definitely knew he was a 3.5-year-old nice 8-pointer. Boy, I'll tell you. It was one of those afternoons, I think Pat and I were both thinking, seriously, it wasn't going to happen today because it was just too nice. You know, you get those days where there's no wind and it's a beautiful fall day, but they aren't always the best for hunting. Well, this one proved to be a great day for hunting. Saw a small buck earlier, and hopefully you'll see the footage that we got a couple nights ago. We were hunting in the same area, just a couple valleys over here, and I passed up what I thought was a pretty nice buck, but he was a 2.5-year-old, and I just decided that, you know, the deer needed to live another year. He didn't have quite the body, and so we let him go, and this is what I ended up getting instead. And this is a 3.5-year-old. This is a stud deer now, let me tell you. And if you notice, I think it's real interesting, and it's actually kind of something people can learn from, especially younger bow hunters, is the shot I took on this deer. If you go back and rewind the hit, you'll see that initially the hit maybe looks a little far back, but I want to show you where the exit wound is. It's right there. So basically what I did is I knew this deer was quartering away a little bit, and I just held back a little, and look where the exit wound is. It's absolutely perfect. And like I said, he didn't go 100 yards. 21st of October, 2001. Here we are in Buffalo County again with Ted Marham, Buffalo County Outfitters. Ted, getting to be a habit, man. I want to show you something interesting here. What we've got is a big scrape here, active scrape, but this was actually done by the outfitter Ted Marham. He used a little bit of dominant buck urine. There was not an overhanging branch here. Ted actually put the branch in place. He tied it to that back tree and then laid it across that stub of a branch on that tree. One key thing here, Ted has got this thing on a natural buck travel corridor. Now this is an old logging road. It's not at the bottom of the ridge, it's not at the top of the ridge, it's actually running along a shelf here, which is just a natural buck travel corridor. And you can see where they've been tearing this up. Obviously relating to the dominant buck urine, there's some real buck urine. You can see where they urinated here, and you can see where they got it tore up, and there's some huge tracks in it. So you want to keep this in mind. This is a peak scraping period. This is about the 3rd week in October, a time when whitetail bucks are really scrape active. So don't forget about this strategy.
Hey, remember last year on PrimeTime Bucks 5, the story that I brought you on that albino doe? Well, we're back with an update this year. I think you're going to like it. You know, the last time that we actually filmed the albino was in the spring, so we knew that she made it through the harsh winter. But I didn't catch back up with her until July, when she had 2 new fawns. That told me that she was still healthy enough to do that. But I did notice that her body is starting to deteriorate. Her ribs are starting to show. I think her eyesight's going. I whistled at her and she threw her head up and looked in my direction, but not exactly right at me. So I think that her vision is starting to go downhill also. So it might just be a matter of time, but hopefully her genetics will be passed on. For those of you who missed last year's video, we captured some unbelievable footage of this albino doe. She was being bred by a giant 10-pointer. We nicknamed him Lucky, but in the end he was unlucky. He was harvested by a local landowner. But this year, the albino doe found another mate, a thick-necked giant 10-pointer. He didn't give us much time to follow him with the camera. He slipped on out of there. But he too was unlucky. because he was harvested by a good friend of mine, Gary Stutz. You know, sometimes we get so focused in on the process of hunting that we forget the wonders of nature. I feel very fortunate to be able to be in a position to bring you the life of such a unique animal. And I hope next year I can bring you another update.
I want to thank you for having me up here, Ron.
No problem, bud.
I tell you, this area looks good, so tell me a little bit about what we're going to be looking at today.
Well, basically what we got, the big creek bottom that runs all the way through down there, and it's just a series of ridges and draws that come up through it. These big fields out here, got a lot of clover in it, and the deer sit down there in the creek bottoms, and when they come out here, they feed on that clover a little bit. Bucks come up, and they looking for them does, and
Well, I tell you, I like the looks of it. I like these fingers and these other fields, and they connected together, and I can't believe the clover here. And if you got this much food, you know it's going to be a pile of does going to be here.
Eddie hangs his stand at the edge of the field, and the next morning, his hunch pays off. Several does show up feeding on the clover. Not long after, a true Iowa giant appears.
He's coming back.
This big buck senses that something is not quite right and chooses to stay just out of Eddie's bow range.
I don't know what happened. He sees that doe over there, and you can't compete with the real thing. I thought he was gonna break and come on down. He turned and come in there, and he was just looking around. He saw that doe, and he broke off. Whew, how close can you get, man?
This old fence post makes it nice in the morning to be able to hang your clothes on, to be able to spray them down center way. This Iowa hunting has been unreal. This is our last morning hunting here. We picked a stand site out. It's just been super. We had so many bucks in, but just hadn't had them close enough. We grunted up a nice deer, probably the biggest deer I ever had that close on me. We know we're in such a hot area because we've had so much activity, but maybe we'll get a chance to look at one this morning.
Look at him. He's up on top of them hay bales. Coyote. He must be after a rat out there somewhere. I guess it would be around them hay bales. There's probably a bunch of rats. That's probably an easy meal. Look at him bouncing around. that scent wig. He's cruising around. He's checking everything out. We have put some premium doe esters on that scent wig. He's looking for him a doe. All he needs is a couple more years. He'll be a good one. Got a doe come out over here. Looks like a couple small bucks. They actually bumping their heads together, testing the strength. Oh, got a big deer coming in. Looks like a big body deer. Oh, that's a good deer. He just jumped that fence. Waiting for the grunt call, maybe. He's looking. Big man. He's coming, he's coming. I can't believe it. True talker. Thank you, good Lord. That deer was standing right there. It's been about an hour and a half. I marked him pretty good. I'm gonna go over and see what I might can find. Got a good sign. Like he's coming right on up this trail right here. Yep, there's some more right there. It's picking up, it looks good. And there he lays. Woo! All right, thank you, good Lord. Hot dog. Look at the size of him. Woo! Holy, what some mass on a deer, and what 10 points. Look at the points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 of them. And there's a one for an Alabama boy, and there's another one. We may call him a 12-point. All in my heart got thumping. I grunted him up with that true talker to start with, and he got all under me, and I thought he was gonna leave. And I muffled it down, and he turned, and he come back. And I got in a bind. I had to pull that bow back, and I had to shoot him. I tell you, this has been an unbelievable week. This Iowa Bucks, they have been on fire, and we've had an opportunity to see some awesome deer. And I tell you what, I always say he's big enough to ride in Eddie Salter's truck. Well, this one here is almost too big to ride in Eddie Salter's truck. Yes! All right!
Yeah, I'm obsessed with whitetails. I have been since a child. I'm from Illinois. I've been blessed. The Lord's blessed me to live in an area where there are a lot of big, mature whitetails. And since I joined Hunter Specialty staff a few years ago, now I've taken it to a new level, filming with a cameraman and a camera in the tree with me, trying to harvest a big, mature whitetail. In those conditions, it gets no tougher. It is the supreme challenge. In 1980 is when it all started for me. I committed to trying to harvest a mature whitetail buck with a bow in 1980. In 1983, I was lucky enough to harvest a huge typical, and all that did was start an obsession that's lasted for my entire lifetime up until this point. It made me want to get back to that point, to experience that ultimate feeling of success that you reach when you do something like this. It makes you want to work harder, and I want that feeling again. This is November the 9th. I need to spend as much time in the tree as possible. It's happening now. Big rubs and scrapes everywhere. Big mature bucks are on their feet now more than any other time of year. It's time. It's rocking. It's time to do it.
It's 6:30 in the morning. We've only been in here about 15 minutes, and the wind shifted on us. It's terrible. It's right out of the southwest, blowing right direction we expect all the deer to come from. We're getting out of here. We're going to another spot. This is a good lesson. Hey, don't sit in these spots. This is November the 9th. Things are rocking. I hate to get down and move right now, but don't sit in these spots if the wind's not right for you, because if a big buck smells you here, you've ruined it for that season. So get out. We're going to get out. 30 minutes, we'll be back up. We'll be right back with you. Took us about 20 minutes to move from one stand to the other. We hurried. It's still about 5 till 7, November the 9th. Perfect south wind. It's a buck. It's a big buck. Get on it. It's the drop time. Here he comes. Yeah. I'm gonna shoot him. such a giant. That's a gooner, I know it is. But he was so close, 15, 18 yards. I'm sure I got him. Give me a second. That's a monster deer. That is a monster deer. He's got a big drop. Tremendous brow tines. It's 9:20. We're gonna get down and go see what we got. I think it's a really good hit, but we're gonna get down and go see what we got. Yes, I mean, he bled instantly as soon as that arrow hit him. My stomach right now is in knots. I'll be honest with you, up there in the tree right after the shot, I was almost in tears because, look at this, he's done. Even when I think about it, it's hard to talk. But this is why we hunt. How many people get a chance to see a deer like that, let alone get a shot at it? You know, I've been fortunate in my life because I've hunted a lot of great areas and I've been real lucky. I've had the chance at some really big deer, but you know, an animal like that is just unbelievable. Just the chance is what you're hoping for. We got a great blood trail. I mean, it's just pouring out of him. But we're going to give him a while anyway, just in case. You know, a rule of thumb that I've always had when I'm trailing the deer, if you don't see him tip over, if you don't know absolutely it's a perfect double long hit, then I kind of, rule of thumb is, in doubt, back out. You know, so that's what we're going to do for a little while. In case he's laying over there, we don't want to jump him. You know, because if we jump him, then you got real problems. But we're going to head back, and I'm going to take some of these clothes off because it's pretty hot now, pretty warm, and just relax for, you know, maybe an hour or so, and then slip back up there and see what we got.
You know, this right here is the toughest time for me. Probably the toughest time for anyone. It's the time when the doubts start to creep in. It's a time when you start second guessing everything that's just happened. Did I do this right? Did I do that right? You know, we were going to go back and have some lunch. I couldn't eat anything. So what helps me then, I think positive. I know he's going to be there. We just got to give him the time. It's going to be maybe the greatest thing that's ever happened to us. It's what we strive for. It's what I dream about. It's what I fantasize about. You show me a guy or a gal that sits in a tree stand that doesn't fantasize about this big deer coming in. That's how I kept everything into perspective so I could wait the length of time that I needed to. Now we're going to take the trail up again. We're starting right at the edge of the draw across the open field from where we left off. We gave him the ample time, and now we're going to get after him again, and hopefully what we're all waiting for is going to be there at the end of this trail.
He's turning right here. Right there's the arrow. Right there's the arrow. Patty's lost the arrow right here. Looks good. The arrow looks good. He's busted right through here. He's busted right through here. See right there? Right here. Right here. There. There he is, right there. Right there. Look at him, Pat. Look at him, he's incredible. Look at that. Look at his rack sticking out.
Got him, man.
We got him, buddy. We got him.
Oh my God, look. That's a giant. This is a giant. Unbelievable. Oh, look at this buck. He's even bigger than I thought he was. Look at this buck. Look at that profile. Look at that big drop coming out of the G2. Look at that big left side. 6 on the left side. I don't know how many he's got. Incredible, unbelievable buck. Look at the rack. Let me count him up for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 scorable points. A big giant non-typical with a drop kicking off the G2. Big multiple brow tines. Look at this coming off the back right here. Look at this. This is what it's all about right here. Shot him at 9 o'clock this morning and backed out because I just wasn't real comfortable, so I backed out and left him most of the day, several hours, came back. He went maybe 300 yards, left a great blood trail. I wish you could all experience this. All the primetime guys out there hunting right now, November the 9th. I want them all to do it. All of them to experience this right here. Does it get any better than this? Does it? I don't think so. Unbelievable. Maybe the biggest ever taken on video, wild deer. You think it is? It may be. I don't know what he scores, but I don't care. I'm gonna get a tag on him. I'm gonna go get the vehicle. We're gonna get him out of here. We're gonna go celebrate. We're gonna burn the phone lines up tonight. Yes, we are. This buck has got so much character, unbelievable. He's only 14 inches inside. Tremendous drop, something I've always wanted, a big drop tine. This is the first buck I've ever harvested with 28-inch plus main beams, over 7 inches at the base, 16, 18 inches of abnormals coming off the back of the brow tines, big left beam that hooks in towards the right, just all the character in the world. It's just, he has got it all. You know, the mass on the bases of this rack is so evident from the back, these big, tremendous bases, over 7 inches on both sides. And then, you know, this big fish hook point coming off the back of the brow tine here. It's my favorite point on the whole rack. Then you drop down below it, and he's got a great sticker coming out right below it off the back of the brow tine. Then over here on the right side, he's got a big sticker coming off the base of the brow. Then up here in the middle of the brow, he's got a big sticker coming off. And then here we go with this big drop. Look at all the stuff he's got going on with this drop. This drop's starting to fork right here at the end. It's got a little point coming off right here. Unbelievable character. Maybe as much character as I've ever seen on any big non-typical deer, especially with only a 14-inch inside spread. And you know what the most awesome part of the whole deal is? I get to try to do it again next year. It just fuels my fire. Let me tell you something right here. See this trail right here? I'm not walking in that trail. This is a trail that leads right to the tree stand. This is a little tip that sometimes people don't pay attention to. Are you with me? Don't walk in the trail. Don't step on it. Don't step in it. Step over it when you're going to and from your stand or when you're out in the woods anytime. You know, just don't step on the trails. It's a little thing that you got to pay attention to. Hey, you dot all the I's, you cross all the T's, and you'll be more successful. This trail right here, go around it.
To most people, the word magic means the art of sleight of hand or producing supernatural effects. To Alex Rutledge, it means something much different. He spotted this Big Ten with stickers while hanging his stands prior to his hunt in Kansas. He made a still picture from this footage and nicknamed the buck Magic. During this hunt, he carries it under his hat for good luck. Alex is on his first pan hunting adventure. Pan hunting is a premier provider of high-quality hunts across North America and around the world. It's mid-November and the deer are at peak rut in Kansas. Alex knows that using a decoy with doe estrus at this stage is a proven tactic for luring bucks into bow range.
We're finally into our stand location. What you see behind us here is we've got 2 funnel areas. This is the only wood lot here in about 400 acres. So these deer are staying right in here. This is their room. This is their home. There's some buck rubs and scrape all right in here. We found this a month ago. We got our decoy set up, and hopefully we can rattle one in right here. You want him? Let him come. He's not that good. I'm not gonna shoot him, Danny. I'm gonna let him go. He's about a 1.
Looks like Alex is going to have to get down and set up his decoy.
Straight ahead. Straight ahead to the left of the tree a bit. You can see him in the middle of the field. Move slow. That made like 7 or 8 bucks we've seen in 3 days. We're after old big boy. They're here where we signed that over. We think he's moved out and they've seen him over here in this area, so we're hunting him here. I'm either hunting him or something close to him or a little bigger. We're back at our honey hole here where we rattled in the 8-pointer the first day. This is the 3rd day of the hunt or 4th day of the hunt. And we come back here because we know a lot of deer are going to congregate in here because of all these windbreaks with these cedar trees. So we come back and set our decoys up and we're going to try to rattle in another buck, hopefully a bigger one than the one that come in earlier or the first time when we was here. There's a deer right there. Here he comes. He's not that good, is he? I'm gonna let him go, Danny. Just let him go.
bad as a girlfriend breaking up with you.
It's the final morning of Alex's hunt, and it's getting down to the wire.
That deer is wide now. Oh, he's a good deer. Here he comes. He's working his way this way. That's a different buck. No, that is him. Yes! Thank you! Thank you. Thank you. I can't help it. You know how hard I work.
A quick review shows that while Alex's shot was a perfect double long hit, he lost his arrow knock in the process. Congratulations to Alex on a nice buck.
Look here, baby. Look at that. Is that a pig or what? My best ever. Look how red colored he is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13 more.
Now, if you think this buck looks familiar, you're right. Wonder how long it will take for Alex to figure it out.
Ah! It's him! I just realized. It's Mr. Magic. I didn't realize it till now. This is magic. It's the buck we come out here and hung the stand on. Look at him. We shot this deer over a mile and a half from where we filmed him at earlier in the year.
Well, it looks like Alex's pan hunting adventure turned out all right after all. If you're interested in trying your hand at bagging a great buck like this, or any of the other many species that pan hunting has to offer, give them a call or visit them on the web. Create your own magic with an exciting pan hunting adventure. This unbelievable footage comes from Ron Hurlburt and his sons Kurt and Kent. It happens in early November on his farm in Buffalo County, Wisconsin, when Ron finds 2 record-book bucks near death from exhaustion. These 2 warriors became locked in combat and were unable to free themselves. To save their lives, Ron must take the risk of cutting their antlers with a chainsaw. This is a very risky process and is not recommended. But Ron knows that if he doesn't take action, the 2 bucks will not survive another day.
The other side's entangled now. The other one.
Ron has to cut 3 antlers off before the bucks are able to get free and run off, seemingly no worse for the experience. Later in the season, Ron's son caught a fleeting glimpse of at least one of the bucks running across a field during Wisconsin's firearms season, proving they survived the ordeal. It's late November, and Pat Reeve has brought cameraman Blake Porter to northwest Kansas. This is the same location that Pat shot his nice buck from the ground last year for PrimeTime Bucks 5. So this year, Pat has hung his stands within 50 yards of that spot in hopes that another nice Kansas buck will appear.
It's about 7:20. It's the 20th of November, and we're back in Kansas in the same river bottom that I shot my buck last year. Only it's about 30 degrees colder. These bucks are in full swing, hard rut, and we seen a giant last night. I'm pumped. It's gonna be fun. I hear something over here. Here comes one. It's a doe. I think she's being chased. Oh, here comes a buck. Here he comes. He's coming right down across the creek. He's a shooter. I'm gonna shoot him. I don't think
Bam.
you on him. I think I got a little deflection. We've been in the stand total of about half an hour after light. Unbelievable. I never trimmed that tree. I didn't expect that buck to be on that bank. He's supposed to come right through here, following that doe. He caught the corner after, and I tried to stop him. I had a little opening, but I saw my arrow just right in front of him. Man. Is that the same one? Maybe I can grind him in here. Darn it. I can't believe this place. What do you say? We have seen unbelievable buck action, but we're on the wrong side of the creek. Man, that is a giant. He's got a split tine on his G2. Heavy. That's the kind of deer we're looking for. I was so nervous I was blowing that call like it was a trombone or something. Oh, that one got me shaking. I love it. You gotta love this kind of stuff.
The next day, Pat relocates to a trail on the other side of the creek in a pinch point, with the river at his back and an open field out front. His hunch pays off when the 12-point giant from yesterday appears on the trail heading right for him. This is a big, mature buck that probably cruises this area often for does. He is so in tune with his environment that he picks up on even the slightest difference from day to day in the woods. He knows something has changed, and he's willing to risk going into an open field and exposing himself rather than staying in thick cover where he senses something isn't quite right. He makes a big loop around the stand, then cuts right back into the woods to the trail he was originally walking on. A close and disappointing encounter indeed.
I can't believe that. He was coming right down our trail. He veered right out around us. Oh, he's following that doe on the other side of that creek. I see her down on that creek bank, up to the left further. Big buck right over here. It's a giant. He's coming down across the creek. To the right of that cedar. Get ready, man. He's coming in. Oh, great. There he goes away. He might be back here. He's just sniffing around. Come on, turn around. I'm gonna try to do talk. Here he comes. Here he comes. Might have to come on this side of the tree. Come on this side. Come on. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. You on him? Oh, yeah. He's gonna go down. Hey, baby. Yes! Oh my gosh. We just got ourselves a dandy. What? Could you believe it? That buck came in and he was right there. And I was thinking he was going the other way. And I said to Blake, I said, I'm going to try to true talker him in. I hit that twice. He turned around on the dime and came right here. He's down within 20 yards. We got ourselves a beauty. Oh, I can't wait to get on and take a look at him. All right. Here's the arrow right here. Soaked, and he's laying right over there. Come on. It's a dandy. Oh, he didn't go very far. Look at this buck, huh? Oh. Oh. Nice deer, huh? Oh. He has got some character. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points. This is something to be very proud of. I didn't think I was going to get this deer, and the old true talker did the trick on him. He come right down the path, right under this tree, and I let him have it. It's the day before Thanksgiving, and this is truly something to be thankful for. Yes! Nice Kansas whitetail. been a long, hard hunt. You've put a lot of work into this. Here's a couple tips on how to make sure that your trophy photos are successful. Make sure you have a bottle of window cleaner solution. It helps wick and wipe the blood away better than water. Not long after your kill, your eyes will tend to sink in and look grayish. Go to your local taxidermist. Buy a pair of artificial eyes, pop them in. They'll give you that lifelike appearance. Make sure you pull your deer up into position, keeping in mind the background. Place a rock or something under its chest cavity to lift the deer up. That way your antlers are going to be in contrast to the background. Your picture is going to look a lot better if you groom the cape with your hand, making sure all that hair is laid back down. One last thing, remember your weapon in your pictures. It helps tell the story. Hey, experiment with these tips and you're going to have great photos.
Northern Saskatchewan is home to the world record typical taken by Milo Hansen and continues as a world-class deer factory. Pro staff members Matt Moret and J.R. Edge are at Dunham Brothers Outfitters in hopes of getting a chance at a big-bodied Canadian bruiser. Matt meets with outfitter Dan Dunham to discuss the game plan.
Dan, I'm sure excited to be here, and came through the door and I went over there and grabbed this thing right away, and I can't even get my fingers around it, and that just amazes me. But it's pretty common here at Dunham Outfitting from what I understand.
Well, Matt, you can expect to see a lot of deer, and our average deer here at Dunham Outfitting is 146 inches. Man. We've killed 2 deer that score over 200 inches.
Oh, my God.
Generally, we get 2 book deer a year, and that comes from good guides and good clients, a lot of repeat clients that harvest deer and let the smaller deer walk, and they get to grow up into animals like this, which we're very fortunate to have.
Well, you know, that's a key anywhere. You know, a deer like this doesn't get this big in 2.5 years, but what can we expect tomorrow morning? I noticed the weather's a little bit cold, and we're not used to that, but what are we going to be hunting out of?
Well, we've got a variety of stands, some ground blinds,
Super.
Some box blinds, some unique bales that we use, round bales. And if it gets to the point where it's real cold, we've got heaters for you guys that are out there.
I can't wait to get out there in the morning, and from what it sounds like, we're here at prime time.
It sure is. We've seen the bucks chasing the does last week, and I think we're going to fix to explode here this week with a little bit of colder weather.
Matt hunts hard the first day and sees a lot of nice deer, but he knows that if he's patient, he may get a chance at a buck worth driving all the way from Pennsylvania for. After watching deer movement on the first day, Matt decides to get into his blind location much earlier on the second afternoon.
It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we've had a lot of action. I've seen way more bucks than does. That's just telling me that calling might be very effective. One thing to notice, though, when you call, no matter if you're rattling or grunting, just like turkey hunting, as soon as you do it the first time, you need to be ready and alert, because that animal knows exactly where that sound is coming from. I see something moving in the brush to the right. I lost it. Oh, there it is. It's a buck. It's a buck. because it's cold. It's the last place that I saw the deer, by this spruce. There he is. There he is. Yes! Yeah! That is an awesome animal. I know he's a 10-point because I watched him for a while. That is an awesome buck. And I am so proud, and I know he's gonna go in the wall. Gotta thank the guys here at Dunham Outfitters. They have put us on some bucks in Saskatchewan, Canada. He's got some awesome tine length, great brow tines, his G3s. It don't matter, he made my heart pound, and I am sure proud. I hope everybody else out there on this PrimeTime Bucks video is having as much fun as I am here in Saskatchewan, Canada.
With Matt's early success, J.R. Edge has an opportunity to try his hand at a Canada buck.
It's Friday after Thanksgiving. Here in Saskatchewan, Canada has warmed up a lot. It's probably 19, 20 degrees now. Got wolves in the background. Maybe they won't mess up our hunt. Got Matt over here trying to film me kill a deer today, and hopefully I can kill one for him. I don't know. It's the first time I've been on camera hunting, and it's the first time he's ever filmed somebody shoot a deer. So hopefully we'll make it work out and try to show y'all one later on today. There's a good deer right there on the hill. Going to our right. He needs to come across that opening. He's not gonna stop. Not very far, but I just can't get a shot at it. He's got does on his mind. He's not worried about fighting with us. Man.
Later that afternoon, JR spots a nice shooter buck chasing does. Maybe this is his best chance to get a shot. Matt learns real fast that it's easy to get caught up in the action of the hunt, even for the cameraman. In his excitement, he accidentally hit the pause button just as the deer came into JR's sights. And even though we didn't catch it on film, JR harvested a very nice deer, even larger than Matt's. For you big buck enthusiasts, there's an interesting note to this story. While driving to their blind one morning, Matt and JR came within inches of hitting an absolute monster whitetail with their truck. 4 days later, Dennis Adams of Alabama harvested that buck. Featured in North American Whitetail and Big Buck magazines, the impressive rack of this buck carries 30-inch main beams and foot-long brow tines, grossing over 224 inches. While the abnormal fork on one brow tine and the drop tine give the rack plenty of character, without them, the buck would have netted around 214 typical points. Saskatchewan then would have had two of the largest typicals in the world. This next story will positively make any whitetail hunter or enthusiast sit up and take notice. It actually begins in the fall of 2000, when reports surfaced of a very large non-typical being sighted. But it wasn't until the spring of 2001, when a turkey hunter located both sheds, that the rumors were confirmed. With an estimated inside spread of 22 inches, the buck would net score around 277 5/8 inches non-typical, and would easily rank him among the world's top 10 of all time. On August 13th, good friend of HS and outdoor writer Ron Wilmore captured the first images of the giant whitetail from his trail monitor camera. 3 days later, Ron positioned himself in a lone oak tree in the middle of an overgrown grassy field. Friend Gregory Hopf of Excalibur Video Productions loaned Ron a high-quality camera to capture the action. About 15 minutes before sunset, Ron spotted the huge, non-typical coming toward him from the far edge of the field. His main concern now is to make sure the video is steady and he keeps the deer in focus. As the giant approaches, he appears to have difficulties holding his head upright due to the massive set of antlers. He tends to walk with his rack tilted to the left, as if his drop tine side is too heavy to keep level. The buck finally makes his way into the mowed feeding station Ron has specifically made to photograph this deer, which, by the way, is perfectly legal in the state of Iowa. Ron gets several angles with his camera so a person can get a good perspective on just how massive this giant really is. By analyzing the footage frame by frame, we estimate around 40 scoreable points, but one can only speculate on just how many points this monster really has. Amazingly, the buck appears to have added 15 to 20 abnormal inches from 2000 to 2001. Experts estimate that his current rack could gross over 300 inches, and judging by his body and facial characteristics, biologists have estimated his age at only 4.5 years old. One can only wonder what he's going to be like next fall. After not seeing the non-typical for about 3 weeks, Ron is certain he has now shed his velvet and is taken to feeding strictly at night. On September 13th, Ron makes one last trip to attempt to capture a final look at the buck. As darkness falls, he suddenly appears beneath the tree. He's now in hardhorn, but is still as impressive as he was in full velvet. Since that day, no one has documented or has been lucky enough to harvest the buck. Several rumors of the buck being killed exist, but to this date, no one has produced the rack. Let us stress that this giant is in 100% wild conditions and lives in an area where there is hunting pressure. But at the present time, we believe the Iowa World Record contender is still alive. As in Ron Wilmore's words, regardless of what happens to this magnificent trophy, it has been an experience of a lifetime. It is what all hunters fantasize and dream about. Hunters Specialties would like to thank Ron and the others involved for sharing such a unique and incredible story. It's the first week of January in western Iowa. Normally, one would see snow-covered fields, but the mild conditions have prevented that from happening. Greg Miller and Pat Reeve have returned to the same spot where Greg had an encounter with a nice 8-pointer last year. Unfortunately, the deer scattered from the field before Greg could take the shot, and with only a half hour of daylight left, Greg was clearly disappointed. It's 1 year later, and when Greg arrives, Joe has something very encouraging to show him.
Well, hiya, Joe.
Hey, Greg, welcome back.
Well, good to see you, man. What have you got here?
Familiar?
That looks very familiar. That looks like the deer that got away from Pat and I down the clover field last year. Is that him?
That is right.
Oh, man.
I did him just last week up on it.
You did. So he's still here and still alive and doing well. And
He's feeding on a partial thick cornfield just west, right?
look at the beam length. Boy, he put a lot of antlers. You have 5 by.
Yeah.
He's got 5 on his left now.
Yeah.
5 by 4, big 9-pointer. Good deal. Well, that looks great. Tell you what, I got a date with that deer. I got a little matter to settle with him.
Score to settle.
Yeah, score to settle.
Well, here we are in our elaborate ground blind here in western Iowa. We're just probably 300 yards up to the top of the hill from where we were last year in the clover field. It's right down behind us, and as you can see, we got See him? He's just a 7-point. He would be an 8-pointer, but he's busted. That's a good-looking young deer. Good-looking young deer. Boy, those deer are beautiful. Skylined against that sunset. Feel the temperature dropping too. It's getting colder right along. Air temperature's getting colder. It's getting windier. Maybe that'll spur these bigger bucks to get up and start feeding.
With the sun setting and a buck beautifully skylined on the horizon, Greg is encouraged with the results of his first afternoon in the blind.
It's day 2 of our late season muzzleloader hunt here in Iowa. And it's not quite so windy as it was last night, although we did see quite a few deer last night, but they seemed nervous and hinky and just wouldn't settle down. We didn't see any real big bucks. And then just before dark, we found out why. 3 coyotes came out into the cornfield here, and they were all over and back and forth and kind of messing around with the deer. I think that had them riled up even before they came out. Those deer knew those coyotes were in the area. So this is day 2. It's about 2:45 in the afternoon. The wind has died down considerably. I think that'll help too. So once again, here we are. We're just going to keep watching. Hope that a shooter buck shows up this afternoon. Just had a hawk come flying across the field here, straight over our heads. Tried to get a squirrel right above our blind, and the squirrel jumped down right on top of the blind. Now it shattered. Just what we need at prime time. There's some does and fawns and one looks like a 2.5-year-old buck out there right now, and we still got plenty of time, plenty of daylight, but I don't know, he's gonna have to make an appearance here pretty quick. Hey Pat, back on the horizon, Pat, there's a big deer, big-bodied deer. I can't see his head. It's a big-bodied deer. He's just coming over the horizon there. Come on, pick up your head. Pick up your head. Hey, that's him. I think that's the deer we're after, Pat. I think that's him. He's kind of walking this way real slow. He's just feeding. Yeah. Oh boy. Pat, he gets on top of that hill and turns broadside. I'm gonna take him. Already ranged those other deer. They're 130 yards, so he's coming up there. I can take him there.
Hey, Miller. Give me 5, man.
All right.
That's a 2-year chase right there. And a heck of a shot. Right, Patrick?
Oh, what a shot.
All I know is I could see other deer running, and I didn't see him, so I thought he's got to be on. I heard the bullet hit.
Yeah.
That's one thing about these muzzleloaders. You got time to hear the bullet. Oh, man. I can't wait to get up there. Patrick, he's got to be right here on top of this little rise. There he is, right there. Like I said, just at Thompson Center, man, I folded him right in his tracks. He didn't take a step. Pat, look at this. Oh man, look at this. Joe wasn't lying when he said he got bigger. Oh, Pat, look at. How's that, buddy? What do you think?
That's a beauty, man.
Oh, incredible. Jeepers creepers. Look at that. Oh, man. What a great deer, huh? 5x4. Last year he got away from us. We chased this deer last year and he got away from us the first afternoon of the hunt. Never saw him again. During the rest of the hunt, I ended up shooting an 8-pointer that was busted up. And, you know, it's not often you get a second chance at a big deer. And Joe, my landowner buddy, has been seeing him pretty regular. And he's been calling my buck, Greg's buck. And we came back and we sat last night, didn't see much. The weather's getting warmer, and lo and behold, look what stepped out tonight, feeding with a buck that we actually saw here last night. And he was eating in the corn, picked corn here. And I dropped him at about 130 yards with that Thompson Center. Look at that, Pat. Look at this beam. Can you get that? No G4 on the right. I don't care. I mean, I just love them. I love these big deer so much. I'm not into net score at all, because this is what you see hanging on the wall, ladies and gentlemen, right there. And I tell you what, my hunts are based on memories. This deer gave us 2 seasons worth, Pat.
I'm glad he got away last year.
Yeah, I wasn't at the time, but I sure am now. I could have cried last year when he ran out of the field on us with a half an hour daylight left yet. But look at what he turned into. He's got everything. Good spread, good mass, long beams, good brows. What do you think? Get him tagged?
That's right, man. Hey, congratulations.
Thanks, Pat. Thank you. What a way to wind up Primetime 6, huh?
Actually, there's 1 day left in the Iowa late muzzleloader season, and Pat Reeves still has a tag that needs filling. He knows that there are still a lot of quality bucks in the area, and Joe has offered to let Pat sit in the same blind that Greg harvested his buck from last year.
These blinds are the ticket. Greg shot his buck right out of the same blind last year. Joe said that these deer are really coming out here. We got some deer that are coming out right now up here. Look like all does. But you know what's gonna follow those does, don't you? That's right, the bucks. Lots of does. We got 3 bucks up there. One, he's got completely busted off antlers. And then we got 2 little ones there. They're really pushing and shoving. Wait till the big one steps out. They'll His head's covered. By what? Okay, right now.
Yep. Yep.
Is he going in there? There goes my Iowa season. In the woods. I decided I was going to shoot that 9-pointer, that tall one. And we're just trying to get the communication back and forth, you know, getting on him and whatever. We didn't get it done. All I can do is smile about it. Nuts. The field's cleared. And I don't think they'll be back probably before dark.
With only a half hour of daylight left, Pat decides to just sit and wait it out to the end. 15 minutes later, he spots movement near the edge of the field.
Don't move. Here comes that 10-pointer. I think it's him. Here he comes. He's coming down along the edge. You on him? He's hit hard. He's hit hard. He's gonna go down. He's down. Yes. Oh, I cannot believe. I cannot believe it. Here he is. That 10-pointer. Unbelievable. Let me get him out here for you. Oh, look at this, huh? Oh, wow. What a nice buck. He's a big old buck. Just like I thought. He's really heavy right here. He's got a lot of beadwork. He's 4 or 5-year-old buck. What a way to end the season. Started the season on September 4th for the video. Killed the first one on there. And ended it here, the last day of muzzleloader season in Iowa, January 10th. What a way to end the video. Beautiful 10-pointer. This one's going back to Minnesota. Makes a person want to smile, I can tell you.
John, are you gonna take me on a cruise in this boat?
We're gonna slip down and look at the stand areas. You have to get your seat ready.
Have to get my seat ready.
See there? Cow calling. And Premium Westers Plus and the decoy. You too can lure in cows. God, these are scared.
Did you get that? Oh yeah, hurt my shoulder again.